2025 has been a great year for mileage. I'm on track to run 3,000 miles this year, and that means it's been a great year for running shoe testing. So this year I've got more shoes over that 200 mile threshold and beyond, so I'm excited today to bring you 7 of the shoes that I've really hammered with the mileage this year and give you guys some updates on them. I will be honest with you, one of them is just under the 200 mile mark, but I'm excited to give you that update because I haven't given you an update on that shoe for a while and I'm really loving it. So I'll share that one plus the other 6 that have got well over and one very close to 400 miles. There's only one shoe in this list, quick disclaimer, one shoe in this list that has been sent to me for the purpose of review. The other 6 I've purchased with my own money. So let's get stuck in no particular order. So let's start with the Adidas Evo SL. 306 miles in this pair of shoes, so this is just a bit of an update, but I do have some exciting news, or I hope it's exciting anyway. So in terms of the wear and tear on this shoe, as a lot of you saw back earlier in the year when I retired this thing, it held up really well. No snags, no frays, no tears in the upper bar, the bit that I snipped for my toe to poke through, just because sizing on Adidas shoes are an absolute nightmare. The midsole was fantastic, as we expect with Lightstrike Pro, and as always the grip with Continental rubber on the bottom is also fantastic. The only reason I retired this shoe, unlike the Pro 3 which I can get over 500 miles in, or I've got my previous pair up to 500 and another pair which you'll hear about shortly, they're up to a pretty big mileage too. The only reason was because this doesn't have rods in it. I find the Lightstrike Pro is incredible, but I did find that my foot started to collapse in around about 250 miles. It's just support in this shoe isn't the best, and so as I was using it in the early days, it was incredible. I was using on every single type of run. I used it pretty much as a great daily trainer, but I just noticed that my foot started to collapse in, getting a bit of ankle pain up the inside of the leg, and I just had to retire it at 300. I also had another pair which I bought from Tim Gross. I put a lot of miles in these as well. I think these are up to about 250, but again, same thing happened in these. But there might be an exciting update on the horizon. Adidas have recently launched the Evo SL ATR, so it's got small lugs on the bottom. I think it's got a Gore-Tex top or a waterproof top on it, and I think that looks to be pretty exciting, but I don't think it provides any other structure on the top. However, I have seen via Instagram and some reliable sources that we are looking at getting a version of the Evo SL with a woven upper. Now in the fine print in the description of that, it does say that there will be supportive panels woven in to the shoe. So whether Adidas have had some feedback on the fact that just the upper in general for a lot of people wasn't quite the best, didn't quite lock in, and we all know that the Adidas woven upper, I've never tested it, but I've heard from you guys and heard great reports that the woven upper is great. Whether this is going to provide a supportive panel down this medial side just to hold the foot a little bit more sturdy, that might be a game changer. That might allow people like myself and other people out there like you that have had this shoe, that love it, but do struggle a little bit with support, to get more miles out of this shoe. We'll watch this space, not sure on a release date, but it does look to be an official announcement and I'm very excited. Quick update on the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3, 206 miles in this shoe, so I got this one to 200 miles, did an update video on this one. Again, been using this for workouts. In terms of wear and tear, it has been absolutely fantastic. Once again, no snags, no frays, no tears, but the beauty about this super shoe, unlike other super shoes, is the midsole keeps on bouncing. So over 200 miles now and it still feels really good. I think I mentioned this in a previous video. If you asked me to lace up a shoe, I could still do a job in this shoe. It still feels like it's race worthy. So I got it to like about 130, 140 miles, and naturally that's when I have been retiring previous super shoes and then just moving them into training. I now use the Farstar Nitro Elite 3 from Puma as my main racing shoe. But to be honest with you, I didn't need to do that with this one. It could still do a job now. And although it does feel slightly different at 200 miles, it still feels really good, still got a lot of pop in it, and it's still got plenty of life in it. No sign of retirement on this one. And again, although there's a few little dinks and dents in the bottom here, the grip is still holding up really well in this shoe. A brilliant investment. The On Cloud Surfer 2, so this is a shoe that was sent to me for the purpose of review. Really surprised with this one. Tested plenty of On shoes in the past, have loved them, but never really taken any of them for the long distance. They've never really found a way into my rotation. This one though is an exception, and I'd say this is probably the most basic On shoe that I've ever tried, but sometimes simple is better. I used it for so many many easy miles. Over 200 miles in it, still went really strong. Grip was really good. Wear and tear, as you can see, absolutely fine. This was a nice shade of white. This is no longer a nice shade of white, but honestly, absolutely brilliant. Lovely and comfortable. Midsole foam, a little bit on the firm side. It is a firmer shoe, so a lot of people won't like that. I do, it's my preference, and yeah, really good grip as well. Did a really good job, as you can see here, slightly wider fitting shoe, the best on upper that I'd ever tried. Really impressed with this one, over 200. And quite the opposite for the New Balance Rebel version 5. Loved every aspect of this shoe, loved the upper, loved the width of the shoe, surprisingly, because that's not something I'm a big fan of, but appreciated the stability and the platform that this one gave. Decent enough grip, but the midsole just let it down. But I persisted because I spent my money on it and I wanted to get as many miles out of it as I could. I got to about 150 and I just pushed a little bit more to get it over the 200 mile mark, and I just couldn't go any further in it. I just didn't want to. It wasn't necessarily that it was no good, but it was a choice. The midsole just went flat really quickly after about 50 odd miles. Really gutted because fuel cell was something that I used to love in really older shoes. Haven't tested New Balance shoes in a while, mainly because of sizing actually. Some of their shoes weren't going up to my 13.5 that I need in a New Balance. The last Rebel did. I missed out on that one. The Rebel version 5, delighted to test it. Can confirm, unless something changes with the midsole, will not be getting back into this. In terms of the wear and tear in general, just like the other shoes in the list, no problems whatsoever with the upper, no snags, no frays, no tears. Everything still feels really comfortable, no cushioning in the upper has gone flat. And as I mentioned before, the grip is absolutely fine on this shoe. It's just that midsole, they've got to do something about it. It didn't last long at all, around 50 miles, and it was really bottoming out. Got an exciting one for you after this one, a quick recap on the Nova Blast. Again, very similar story to the Rebel, 300 miles in this shoe, wear and tear on it, absolutely brilliant. Always found like the Asics Nova Blasts are built like a tank. Grip is spectacular, as it always has been. I've never had any issues with Nova Blast grip anyway. I know a few people have, but I've always found it to be fine. It's again the midsole that has let this shoe down. When I got my foot into this shoe the first 100 miles, I felt like we were back to its best. It lost its way for me a little bit in version 4. Version 3 certainly went in a different way. It was good, but again, I just found that midsole wasn't quite the best. It went a little bit flat, and the 4 I just didn't even enjoy. That was the least mileage I put into any Nova Blast version. Got back into this one, delighted, felt good. Felt like that very original version 1 feeling, lovely and bouncy, a little bit lighter, very lively. But just like the previous couple of versions, that midsole went flat relatively quickly, and by 200 miles this thing was like running on a ball of rubber, and it still is now. It's gone so kind of just lifeless. It really feels like as you land, you just land on a ball of rubber and you get absolutely nothing back. Stupidly, I persisted from 200 to 300. I wanted to retire it at 200 miles. Once again, paid my money for it, so I really wanted to get bang for my buck. Just could not bother to push it past 300. Probably could keep going, but it was not fun to run in at all. But this one has been an absolute joy. The Adios 9. Now, I apologise for the Americans watching this. I believe you can't get this shoe, which I'm really surprised about. This is an absolute belter. So a few years ago, this would be classed as high stack. Now it will be classed as low stack. This is very muddy. I do apologise, but once again, the wear and tear on this shoe is really good. So this is the only one that's just shy of 200 miles. We're up to about 175 in this one, and it is going strong. So I put this in the category of the Liberate Nitro from Puma, the original Streak Fly, just a lower racing flat style shoe. The New Balance SC Pacer, the original version, I think the version 2 or 3, whatever we're on now, has a little bit more stack in it. But this one very much feels like that low old school racing flat feel. Didn't get much joy out of durability on the Streak Fly. Didn't really take the Liberate Nitro too far. This one is going places. And I'm delighted to say I do not feel like it's showing signs of slowing down anytime at all. I've used this for a variety of workouts. Got this back earlier in the year in my half marathon block, so it took a lot of shorter distance workouts. Then during my 5K training block, it took a lot of the speed workouts. And after that through the summer, and now once again picking it back up, we are using it for a lot of hill workouts. It is fantastic. I'm covering over 90 minutes actually in this shoe, so don't look at it and think, oh, it's low stack, can't go a long distance in it. It is going over 90 minutes with hill strides thrown into boot. It is absolutely spectacular. Delighted delighted with the durability on this one, and price point, absolutely fantastic. And finally, just a reminder how awesome the Adios Pro 3 is. 341 miles in this pair, and I bought this pair secondhand from someone that already had 75k in the shoe, so that's about 45-ish miles, so we're very close to about 400 miles in this shoe. And it's great. No snags, no frays, no tears in the upper. Performance-wise, spectacular. Same as the Evo SL. Put a little slit in at the end there just because of Adidas sizing. And other than that, the shoe is holding up really well. So I've got multiple pairs of these, and I'd highly recommend to you guys, if you love these shoes, or even if you just like them, if you're looking for an investment in training, then these are going to last you the distance. As I said, nearly 400 miles in them. They will fly over 500 miles. I only retired the other pair at 500 because I wanted to cut them open and see how many rods I'd destroyed. I know I've destroyed a couple of rods in here. I can already hear the clicking sound. It just makes no odds in general. To be honest with you, this is honestly one of the best shoes of all time for me in terms of the durability and performance. It won't set the world on fire with how fast you can run in it, but it certainly does provide you with that super shoe feeling, recovery benefits that you'll get from the big stack of foam, but also just the way you move through the gait cycle, and it is so natural. Coupled with the fact that you can get so many miles out of this shoe, it's just an absolute no-brainer. Got another pair at home, my racing pair that I use for Abingdon with like 80 miles in it, so I've got myself set up for a good few months yet. Now, of course, I've got other shoes that have sailed over the 100-mile mark, but are kind of hovering around there whilst I'm testing others, but I really wanted to highlight the ones that I've really logged some of the miles in, and I think that's really important at the moment. As costs of everything are going up, we really as runners want to know what shoes are going to last a long time, that are worth investing in, and we're going to have the most fun in. I feel like, bar the New Balance and the Asics Nova Blast 5, a lot of the shoes I've highlighted today are really good investments, and I'm just really delighted with how they've held up. But I'd love to throw the question back to you, because I haven't been able to test every single shoe on the market this year. In fact, I've tested probably the least amount of shoes this year that I have over the past few years. So if you've put a ton of miles in a certain shoe that's holding up really well, please do let people know. It would be super helpful, especially in the Christmas sales when they come around, so that if they drop in price, they can grab a pair of those and give them a try. Please do drop your suggestions down there. And as we finish on a super shoe with this list, I'll make sure I leave a video just here for the super shoes that I've used this year that have done really well. I managed to test 6 of them this year, which is great. So make sure you check out this video, and I'll see you guys over there.